Good morning and welcome to our March 2026 webinar, Exercise for the Home, the How and Why to Stay Motivated. We will begin shortly. A medical disclaimer has been included for this webinar. The information provided in today's webinar is for the purpose of health education and is not intended or should be intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Consult and review information with your physician or qualified health care professional in regards to your own health condition and treatment before undergoing a new healthcare regimen. The information in today's webinar is not intended to replace medical advice offered by physicians. We are very pleased today to welcome Orla Hanes, a registered physiotherapist who has over 20 years of experience. She has lived and worked in Ireland, the UK, and now resides in Canada and has her own Parkinson's Wellness Innovation Centre called Gaitway Neurophysio in Hamilton, Ontario. In this centre, as well as with Parkinson Society Southwestern Ontario, there is a collaboration for Parkinson-specific exercises, falls prevention classes, support groups, webinars, and in-person or virtual rehabilitation sessions. This vibrant community helps to stay informed on upcoming and present research trials to help implement new findings to bring state-of-the-art treatments and programs to an area near you. Please welcome Orla.
Please do write down any of your questions and we can go through them at the end. We are also going to do an exercise component to this for about 10-15 minutes, just to show you how I bring you through some of the exercises and why you're actually doing them. Okay, so looking at what we're going to be doing today, we're going to look at kneading the brain. We're going to look at the overview of the Parkinson's and its symptoms. We're going to look at the science behind the brain and the body connection. We're going to look at your role of the exercise, and then we're going to do some exercise halfway through, just to try and keep you motivated and keep you engaged. And then we'll look at how physiotherapy fits into all of this. And we'll look at the home-based treatments as well, and then how to stay motivated, and we'll conclude at the end. Okay. So this is the wonderful brain that we have. It's full of neurons, full of connections, and it looks absolutely fabulous in here. And these are all neurons. So this is what we try to do through exercises. We're trying to fire up all of these neurons so that your brain is functioning as well as it can. The brain is made up of your cerebellum, your cerebrum, the limbic, and the brainstem. Now, the brainstem is the biggest area of the brain that we're going to be focusing on because that's where your substantia nigra, which is the dopamine section for Parkinson's disease. When we are looking at Parkinson's, you're looking at the neurons. Again, the disease is primarily caused by the loss of the dopamine-producing neurons. I'm sure you have heard about this throughout your journey so far, but if you have not, you have these little cells inside in the brain that produce the dopamine, and it's these cells that are breaking down, and this is where the disconnect comes in. So some of the symptoms, this is not by means all of them, but these are some of the symptoms that we are looking at, and these are the main ones that we will be focusing on when you do have exercise classes or therapy. So if you look at the left-hand side, you'll see your motor symptoms. And the motor means all of the movement. It's how you move. You have tremor. So you may have a tremor-dominant Parkinson's disease or a symptom. You have hypokinesia or bradykinesia. So hypokinesia means the small and the fine movements that you have. This is doing things like earrings, doing buttons, zips, laces, belts, buckles, all of that fine motor. Your writing as well may be affected with the micrographia. It's all lumped within that hypokinesia, or the smallness of movement. You have bradykinesia, which is your slowness of movement. So if you're moving very, very slow, that also means processing can be very slow. And we're trying to overcome that through exercise as well. You have freezing of gait, falls, and agility issues as well. Freezing of gait is affected when you have a little bit of a loss of this automatic movements. And when you start to lose that through the brainstem, through the limbic system, you may have some of this freezing of gait. The falls and the agility, there's a number of different reasons why you're having falls or agility issues. It can be tied into the freezing of gait, but it can also be tied into a lot of other issues of not being able to multitask or dual task as you are moving around. And again, we tease out the differences and we try to work towards being able to help you with these issues. You also have the non-motor symptoms, the depression, anxiety, the lack of motivation, sleep disturbances, or the fatigue. All of these, again, we do try and give you an exercise program that will help you specifically so that we can help you to gain the maximum and to stay as independent and as functional as possible for as long as possible. And the lack of motivation and the depression, anxiety is a big factor on how we're going to get you moving in the first place and how you're going to be able to try and get things going at home too. And as I said, this is by means not everything. You have things like your lack of smell, you have your bladder, your constipation issues. We know that all of those are there, some pain issues as well, and they're all going to be part of the treatment plan, but these are the main ones. Okay, so when we're looking at the brain, we're going to be looking at what the neurons are going to be doing. So your neurons are small little cells within the brainstem. And when we're looking at some of this dopamine, you're looking at this neurotransmitter. So the neurotransmitter is that dopamine, okay? It's what brings the messages from your brain down into your body and then back through from the body in the spinal cord up through the brain again into the brainstem and into the rest of the brain so it can get disseminated into a thought. When you're looking at the dopamine, dopamine is your critical neurotransmitter, and this facilitates your smooth and coordinated motor functions in the brain. When you have a lack of dopamine, you'll have that disconnect, and this is where you start getting some of the tremor or some of the other freezing, even in the hands, and some of that automatic movements that you have with your limbic system, with your heart rate or your blood pressure can get affected as well when the dopamine is lost. The exercise impact with these neurotransmitters, when you exercise and when the physios who are trained to manage Parkinson's, we are aiming to try and get the dopamine neurons fired up enough to be able to produce this neurotransmitter and produce the dopamine. We're also trying to get other chemicals fired up, which help to protect the neurons so that the dopamine can attach to the neurons in the first place. So again, exercise can increase the neurotransmitter levels, the receptor sensitivity, improving your motor control. So by doing this, these are two key words that will be thrown around a little bit, neuroplasticity and neuroprotection. So neuroplasticity is the ability of your brain to reorganize itself. The brain is made up of these million different connections and it can reorganize itself, but you need to be shown how to reorganize it correctly so that you're not actually making those bad habits. And we're trying to make sure that we get the good habits and good movement going. You get the neuroprotection benefits. Again, there's lots of nice chemicals that are produced when you have exercise and the right exercise. And then that protects your own body cells so that movements and symptoms are not getting worse. So again, it can help slow the progression. You have inflammation reduction as well. A lot of the scientists are looking that inflammation markers are a key to Parkinson's. By reducing any of these inflammatory markers, it can reduce some of your Parkinson's symptoms. It also affects the mitochondrial function. So what is a mitochondria? Your mitochondria is the power cell, the power area of a cell. Your cells, you have billions of cells in your body. It doesn't matter what you're looking at, your skin cells, your gut cells, your hair cells. When you exercise, you do affect a mitochondria, and you allow this mitochondria to produce ATP, which is like your gas. that for the car, it's like that gas, ATP, gets that cell fired up and then functioning a little bit more normally. Again, exercise can do this on a cellular level, helping protect with the neuroplasticity and then neuroprotection. So the role of exercise in managing Parkinson's, as I've alluded to, is incredibly important. But we do need to know what type of exercises are important for you to be able to do. So this is whether you are in our gym or whether you're out in the community or at home. We need to try and get these aerobic exercise benefits, the resistive training benefits, and then the balance exercises benefits. Everything ties in to being able to help you stay as functional as possible. So some of the aerobic exercises that you do. Aerobic means that you need to get your heart rate up and you need to be a little bit out of breath to be able to get the benefits from an aerobic exercise. And we do try to say that you're going to have to get this aerobic effect for 20 minutes a day as a minimum. So the benefits of the aerobic exercise, it's very crucial as well for your heart health and overall fitness levels. So if you have fatigue and you're tired and you're depressed, these aerobic exercises can help with your heart health, but it helps then with your overall fitness level. If you are feeling better, it will feed into that depression and that cycle where you feel like you're not moving as well as you would like. Some of the most common aerobic exercises are your walking, your swimming, cycling. Again, anything going up and down stairs. You can go up and down your stairs at home. You can do walking with weights. You can get anything up hills, anything that will get your heart rate up. And again, a little bit out of breath. You should still be able to speak when you're actually at that level of aerobic exercise. But again, it's 15 to 20 minutes. And I chose this picture because this is the Spinning Wheels group. They are getting all of this aerobic exercise by cycling across Canada and through all of the provinces. And cycling is an amazing way to get that aerobic effect. We do try to make sure that we get these aerobic customizations for individuals. So we will make sure that you are always doing whatever you can do, particularly if you have cardiac issues. We need to make sure that you're not going to stress the heart in any way. So strength training, this is Aaron, our volunteer for one of the boxing classes. He is incredibly strong. Again, you know, as you age, you are going to lose a little bit of muscle mass, and maintaining that muscle mass and that strength is going to be super important so that you can get functional at home, because we want you to be strong enough to be able to lift the groceries, to lift the dogs and the cats up. We want you to be able to open up the jars and be strong enough to be able to do that. So yes, strengthening is important. We do it in a slightly different way so then you can stay as functional as possible. Because even though we are working on your muscle strength, we are trying to do it through functioning through the brain, because your brain is the one that's going to get you to actually try the movement in the first place. So we try to feed in through the strength. So the muscle mass maintenance, the enhancing the strength, the regular strength enhances the overall body strength, again, with your daily activities. We focus on the major muscle groups. As physiotherapists, we always do an overall with all of the body, not just the large muscle groups, but the smaller ones as well, which are going to be helping with your function, with posture management as well. And then we do lots of training tools. So you have your resisted bands or your weights. If you don't have any of these ones, which are your traditional gym-related exercises or your gym-related tools, you can do anything at home. Lifting a bag of milk can be, you know, the 3 bags inside there. That can be heavy enough. You can lift a bag of sugar, your flour, or even rice in Ziploc bags can help as well. Again, we try and work with what you have at home to be able to help you to do a functional task. The flexibility and balance exercises. So flexibility and balance is your agility impaired Parkinson's. If you have any agility, your confidence is going to go down and you're less likely to want to challenge yourself out of your base of support. Again, this starts to encourage some of that hypokinesia or small movements. So we need to try and break that cycle and improve on your function so that we can stay as independent as possible and that you're not feeding into that the small movement loop. We do work on improving your coordination, the flexibility and balance exercises. Again, we have balance beams or even on the bossa ball that you see on the bottom, all to reduce your falls. We try to make sure that they're engaging with all of the balance exercises. As you can see, Fred and Linda on the bottom on the bossa balls, we are making a lot of challenge by getting them to use a reaction ball, which is just throwing and catching a ball. Again, this can enhance your mobility. It can improve your flexibility, range of motion, and then allow a better movement in the community or in your home. Okay, so we're going to get you exercising now. Okay, I'm going to stop the sharing of my screen, and we're just going to get you moving. And we are going to get you just sitting down comfortably first. Again, I don't know most of you actually on the call, so we're going to err on the side of caution in here. And this is just a way for you to be able to fire up your brains a little bit, okay? So when you are doing this, again, I want you to be as safe as possible. Make sure that your feet are fully on the ground and that you have the space available, okay? So on here, we're going to sit right at the front of our chairs with your feet flat on the ground and making sure that they're nice and firm. When I'm doing any of these exercises, my idea of getting you exercising is being really intentional about how you're doing it to start to fire up your brain connections and then to try and get you functional at the end, okay? So we're going to start with just getting your feet going first, okay? So you've been sitting down for the last 10 minutes. We're going to start feeling a little bit stiff or tight, or maybe your medication hasn't kicked in yet. Again, we're going to start to get that moving. So we're going to start with your left leg, okay? I'm going to do, if you have a mirror image, I'm not sure on your screen, but we're going to try your left leg, okay? You're going to rock back to the back of the chair, lifting your leg all the way up so that your knee is kind of coming up towards your chest. You go all the way down, get that down and get it nice and firm. So we're going to do the same thing, left leg all the way up, nice and strong, and then stomp it down, leaning forward, okay? Lift it all the way up and then go all the way back down, leaning forward. Very nice, okay. We're going to do the same thing with your right leg. And again, I'm doing 3 at a time just because it's a bit more intentional. And I'll talk you through why we're doing it in a moment. So we're going to do the right leg. If you found the left leg a little bit difficult, make sure you're actually going to lean all the way forward first to get your head and your chin over those toes. You're leaning all the way out. And then you're going to rock all the way back up, lifting that leg up. Remember, you're rocking back to the back of the chair here, then going down and stomping. Okay, let's do 3 of those nice and big. Ready? Lift it all the way up. Go down 1. Lift it up. Go down 2. And then 3 up and all the way down. Very nice. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing. I can see everybody in here. You're moving forward and back, which is very nice. Again, we want to get that weight shift. Okay. So we'll do 3 on the left, 3 on the right. Ready? Rock forward, come all the way up, go all the way down for 1. All the way up, go down for 2. All the way up, go down for 3. Good. Okay. Again, sitting up nice and tall. We'll go to the right leg. Rocking forward first, all the way up, nice big effort, go all the way down for 1. Up, go down for 2, and then 3, all the way up, go down for 4, or go down for 3. I'm getting my numbers all the way wrong. Okay, sitting up nice and tall again. All right, we're going to start working on our hands and our shoulders in here. Again, a really nice way to start getting your heart rate up, to get the dopamine neurons flying. And we're going to start getting a nice big strong hand. So a nice big fist with one hand. Okay, you're going to punch it down up over your foot. So just watch me first. Going to punch it down nice and strong, sharp, open it out to the side. And I want to see the heads kind of leaning up over your hip. Okay, so it's punch it down over your opposite leg. and then reach and lean. Good. Punch it down, all the way out, open out. Good. Do 3 more of those. Go down for 1, all the way open. Go down for 2, all the way open. Go down for 3, all open. Very nice. Okay. So as you're doing that, are you opening your hands out fully? So I want to see the nice big 5, opening out your thumb and your little finger so that you get that nice big spread, okay? Spread of the fingers. I'm going to turn my light on so that you might be able to see me a little bit better. Okay, so we get the nice big open hand, okay? When we reach all the way out. So let's do 3 more. Left hand, big punch. 1, all the way open. 2, punch. Out and open, look at where you're going. And 3, all the way open. Good. Let's do the same thing with your right hand. Nice big fist. Get ready to punch it down up over your left foot. Punch it down, reach it out and open. Punch it down for 2, out and open. Punch it down for 3, out and open. Good. Now take this opportunity to start looking at where you're going into. Okay, so start using your eyes. When you use your eyes, you're getting all of the muscles which come at the back of your neck in here, ocular motor, which is at the back. It's going to start firing up through your brain as well and start to get you to focus, okay? Using your eyes, particularly at home, you've got lots of different things going on in your visual field. So we need to try and make sure that you're using your eyes well enough to be able to see where you're going, okay? Right hand comes all the way back up again. We're going to punch it down for 3. Go down for 3, reach out and open, use your eyes, look at your hand. Go down for 2, punch, out and open for 2. And 3, down for punch, out and open. Good. And then all the way down. Okay. Now we're going to go with a little bit more of this posture again. We're going to this time reach down into the middle and then opening hands out either side in here. Okay. So get your feet all the way down on the ground. Make sure that you have a nice base and that you're nicely secured, particularly if you're on a chair with wheels. Okay. So in here, hands come all the way out. Again, open the fingers as wide as you can. Use this time to get intentional about how big you're moving your hands. Okay, get ready. We're going to punch it down to the middle. Punch it down to the middle. Open your hands out nice and big. Good. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and take this time to take a deep breath in. Okay, get ready. Big punch down for 2. All the way open. Good. And then 3, big punch down, all the way open. Good. And then relax. Okay. One of the other things that I start to teach a lot of my clients is that you need to be working at 80% of your maximum capacity. So what does that mean? That means that we have to put a lot of effort and a lot of power into how we're doing some of the movements. Again, it's this power and this effort and intention that helps with the neuroplasticity that I was talking about, or the neuroprotection. So it gets your dopamine, your neurons fired up, okay? So the small movements that you do, the slower, gentle movements, that's not neuro active. It's not active enough for your neurons to start producing any of those chemicals that we're looking at. It's good for the joints, good for the muscles, good for the strength. Good for some breath support and good for posture, yes. But again, if you want to work on your brain and how the brain is functioning, we have to get to that 80%. Okay, so when we punch it down this time, I want to see a little bit more of that power, okay? We're going to try getting really big within your own capacity. If you have any injuries, please be mindful of them. But we're going to go all the way down. If you cannot punch down because you have back pain, punch it out in front instead, okay? So we're going to get hands down in here. We're going to punch it down, open it out nice and big, okay? So make a big fist first. Going to punch it down for 3 of them. Down for 3, open it out. Good, nice and strong. I want to see that sharpness. Go down for 2, punch. open, stretch the fingers, and 3, punch, all the way open, stretch the fingers, good, and then relax, good. Okay, in this time, I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to get you to do a nice big reach out here in front of you this time, and then a big pull all the way back. So from the side, it looks like a push, pull it back, okay? So you've got to get that sharpness. Again, the sharpness is going to help with the dopamine production. Okay, get ready. We're going to reach out in front of you with a big push. Push. Pull it all the way back. Big push. Come all the way back. And 3, big push. Come all the way back. Very nice. Okay. When you're doing that, did you feel whether your fingers were open? Could we go a little bit bigger with it? So I'm going to do 3 more. This time, watch with how big you open your hands out and how strong you can get that push. Ready? Big push. 1. Pull it all the way back. Big push. 2. Come all the way back. Big push. 3. Come all the way back. Very nice. Okay. We're going to just add in a little bit of slightly different one. We're going to get our hands going in different ways. Again, this is dual tasking. So your ability to be able to do 2 things, multitask, can slow down a little bit. So we try to work on that and function with that. Okay. So it's a nice simple task. We're going to get your thumb and your index finger of one hand. Then you're going to get your thumb and your little finger on the other side. So we're going to get a thumb and index, thumb and little. Now, can you swap them? Okay, swap them again. That's it. Swap them. Good. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. That looked good, everybody. Okay. So we can make that a little bit harder by getting you to do your feet as well at the same time. So I'll show you with my hands because you can't quite see my feet. But you're going to lift your heel up on one foot. You're going to lift your toes up on the other. Okay. So my heel is up on my one foot and my toes are up on the other. Now swap it around. Okay. So it's your heels and your toes. Swap again. And swap. Good. Do 3 of those. 1 and back. And 2, and back, and 3, and back. Good. Okay. So this time, get one foot up, toe up in the other. Get your finger and your thumb of one hand, little finger and thumb of the other hand. Okay. Now you're going to swap. So you're going to swap your feet, and then swap your fingers. Okay. And then swap again. Again, now you're doing a lot of multitasking in here. You're working different areas of the brain, different connections. Okay, keep going. I'm going to stop. Go 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Have fun with that. Try and remember that one because again, it works on different areas of the brain, gets the both hemispheres going at the same time. And very helpful to try and get that neuroplasticity, okay? One other one that I'm going to do with you today is that get your thumbs out here in front of you. So I'm making a big fist, thumbs up, and your thumbs are here together, okay? Now, don't move your head. You're just going to move your eyes in here, okay? Just get one hand out and follow with your eyes. Come all the way back, and then go out to the side. Follow with your eyes. Don't move your head. That's it. Go all the way out, come all the way back. One more. That's it. Again, using your eyes are super important because it helps to fire up the brain as well, okay? We're going to do this again, but this time I'm going to get you to get your tongue into the cheek. So you're going to stick your tongue into the inside of your cheek, all the way in there. Really push it, okay? Get your tongue into the other side. All the way in. Good. Go to the other side again. Good. And then back. Nice. Okay. Get your thumbs out again. Your eyes are going to go to one side. Okay. Your tongue is going to go to the opposite side. Come back to the middle. Go back to the other side. Tongue going into the opposite cheek. Come back to the middle. Out to the side. Tongue into the opposite side. Good. Go back. Are your eyes looking at your thumb? Good. And then come all the way back. Last time. Out to the side. Tongue into the other side. That's it. Come back. And then out is your tongue into the opposite side. Good. So you might be saying, why is she getting us to do this? I feel kind of silly. Your tongue is full of nerve endings. It can help, and it's because it's so close to where your brainstem is in here, it can have a direct connection into the brain to help fire it up. So it's a good way to start getting you primed and prepped and activated to then be able to do your 80% and your maximum capacity of exercises. So this way is a nice way to do it. And you can do it sitting down, which is really nice. You can go anywhere. So if you're sitting on the toilet with constipation, do a couple of eye exercises and do a couple of tongue things. Okay, it's going to help you to move. Again, we're looking at trying to be practical and functional about how to do exercise at home and get the maximum capacity of those exercises. So if you're sitting on the toilet, do stuff with your hands and your head. Okay, it's a nice, easy way to do it. Okay, we're going to do one more. And again, this one, I do need you to be mindful if you have balance issues that you have a chair behind you to be nice and safe. Okay, so with this one, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, so there's a chair right behind me in here. I'm going to move all the way back. Okay, we're going to go all the way down. We're going to get nice and strong. So this one is a really nice one to teach you that 80%. Okay, we're going to do a nice big reach all the way out with a squat down. Come all the way back up again. So it looks like this when I'm going to this side. Okay, so you go all the way down to the chair. Okay, come all the way back up again. Again, it's a big reach and a sit. Come all the way back up. Okay, now everybody, you need to be able to get off a chair. You need to be able to get in and out of the car, on and off the toilet, on and off your bed, on and off your couches. So this exercise is a very functional type of exercise because you have to be able to do these things on a daily basis. So when we do this one, it's an intentional movement, but it's strengthening those legs, working on the flexibility of your hips, and getting you to be as functional, as strong as possible. So again, when we're in here, get nice and strong with your feet. Okay, I'll do it again from in here. Make sure that you have the chair behind you, that it's not on wheels, and that you're nice and safe. Hands come all the way back in here, just like we practiced before. You're going to do your reach out in front of you, and then a big pull coming all the way back. Okay? So let's reach and sit. Ready? Reach out and sit all the way down. Pull it back in and sit, stand all the way back up. Good. Go all the way down with a big reach. Come all the way back up. One more, go all the way down. Come all the way back up. But again, listen to yourself. We cannot come and get you if you end up falling over. So please be mindful of it, okay? Hands come all the way back in. Get ready, reach the fingers out nice and big, and we're going to get that 80%. So it's got to be lots of power. Ready? Go down for one, big power. Come back up, nice and short. 2, go down, reach the hands. Pull them all the way back up. And 3, reach. And then pull them all the way back up. Okay, good. Okay. So these are all exercises that we do, again, to try and prime the head, try and prime the body to be able to function as well as you possibly can. It's also one way to try and get the brain and the dopamine going. Okay. I use a lot of the power moves. I use a lot of the LSVT big moves, but also the PD warrior movements as well, which all help with brain retraining and neuroplasticity. So when you are wheelchair bound, or if you are unable to stand up to sit, I get you to make sure that your feet are actually on the ground, not on your foot plates. when you're on in here, we break it down. So just like we started with, I get you to do a nice big reach all the way out in here, and we do a nice big pull all the way back. Your feet stay on the ground, okay, not on the foot plates, that you're actually on the ground. To do the sit to stand component, it's a little bit different, and I would need to be there in person to do it correctly. If you're just going to practice on it though, you can, when you're here and you have somebody on a wheelchair, get an extra chair in front of them. Again, feet fully on the ground, sitting right at the front of the wheelchair when you're in here. So when you're in here, you're going to do your nice big reach all the way out again, but you're going to reach out towards the chair, try to stand all the way up, and then sit all the way back down again. I don't expect anybody in a wheelchair right now to be able to get all the way up and then all the way back down on their own. They need to have that supervision. But again, you do that big reach all the way out, get the nose over the toes so that your center of gravity is actually on the feet. It actually primes the brain to stand up. If you're back in here, your weight shifting is onto your bum and it's saying, oh, I just need to sit back in here and not actually get moving. So leaning forward, getting you down on here, gets your center of gravity onto the feet, primes the brain and the body and the spinal cord to actually say, okay, we're leaning forward, we're going to stand all the way back up again. Okay? Because it primes the feet. So again, feet down on the ground, reaching out to a chair, lifting the bum up, and this is where you have to get that 80%, that power, to be able to start to do the movement. If somebody else is in a wheelchair and that's a struggle, we get a little bit more of the rocking, get the weight shifting all the way back to the back of the chair, leaning all the way forward. So again, you can even get one leg up and down to start doing your stomping. Because when you are wheelchair bound, you tend to get stuck. Those cushions help you to stay in the chair, a little bit harder to get out of them. You have to do a little bit of a bigger motion to get out of the cushion, but this is one way to do it. So you start to rock, lifting a foot up if you can, all the way down. And then you go all the way out and see if you can get that momentum to get all the way back up. And then sitting all the way back down again, okay? To do the same thing. It's the rocking. If you can get as big as you can with the rocking, it's going to help you to then stand up with your feet, okay? But be as safe as you can. Have something, kitchen countertop, a sink in front of you, or railing, stair rails, or anything else in front of you to be as safe as possible as you do that. Okay? So that's one way to help you with those motions. And you can do lots of arm ones. So any of the seated exercises that we did, if you are wheelchair bound, is really important to actually get you moving. So you can adapt any of these ones on the chair. If you're in a wheelchair, there's nothing to actually stop you from doing that. Any of these ones, getting the hands opening, getting the functions, you know, all of these ones, again, you're firing up the brain in different ways, but using your hands, getting as big as you can to work on that fine motor. And again, then the functional component is a little bit harder to do just through a presentation, but we can chat to everybody individually about what your needs are to be able to help you to get going with those functions later. Okay. So we are going to get you here. Okay. Small little tricks with that rocking helps you to get your brain active and primes your body to be able to do some sort of movement. So it gets your sympathetic system fired up. Your sympathetic system is the one that wakes you up. Your parasympathetic system and the vagal nerve, the ones that helps to calm you back down again. And different exercises are going to do different things. Okay. So just as you were exercising, exercises impact some of these Parkinson symptoms. So it improves motor function. It helps by firing up your cerebrum, your cerebellum, getting down through the brainstem so that all of the messages from your brain get down through into the spinal cord, into the muscles, so that you can do the function that you needed. When you have your medication, it is trying to take your medication and be on when you do the exercises so that you can get the maximum out of that dose, and you're not going to feel as frustrated than if you were off. Okay, so being on when your medication is on is a good way to try and get the most out of these exercises. So you can see from the photo, this is our PD Warrior class. Everybody is doing what we call the stop and squat. Just like we practiced, it is a sit down and a stand up exercise. Again, functional tasks so that you may be able to get on and off the floor, on and off chairs, on and off couches, in and out of the car as well. Helping again with that motor function. You're reducing your rigidity. If you have a lot of stiffness, you have a lot of bradykinesia, hypokinesia, your muscles are really stiff, exercise can help to reduce that rigidity. The dancing with the Parkinsons, the yogas, the Pilates, all will help reduce those rigidities. Again, it works on some of the muscle fibers to help you to keep the length within the muscles so that your joints can move as well as they possibly can. And then this will allow you to do all of your functional activities like putting your socks and shoes on so that you can lean forward and have enough flexibility within your lower back and your hips to be able to reach down and grab your ankles and your feet. Exercise has been shown to enhance cognitive function. Again, like I showed you with doing different things with your fingers and your hands, it will help with your functional activity or your cognitive activity and your cognitive function, doing that dual tasking, two things at once, saying things, voice, just talking to yourself will help just fire up your brain and to keep it connected on both sides, both hemispheres of your brain. Regular exercise also helps promote your emotional well-being. It helps with the feelings of depression and anxiety. Again, exercising at a certain rate with your 80%. Your aerobic exercises helps with production of your serotonin and your dopamine and all happy chemicals. The happy chemicals will help with some of the depression and that motivation, apathy. It's trying to get beyond that first step. If you can do one thing, then we try and move you on to do something else. And then your body slowly realizes that it's missing exercise if you can get it into your routine. So just like we said, the recent research and clinical trials have shown to improve motor function, enhance cognitive performance, and thus gives you better quality of life. So integrating everything and physical activity into care plans is super important to help keep the well-being and functional capacity throughout your day. The physiotherapy benefits. When you are here with physiotherapy, particularly those that have been trained to manage Parkinson's disease, it helps keep you focused and intentional. We really work and personalize strategies to help your type of Parkinson's, whether it is the bradykinesia, tremor, or agility impaired Parkinson's with the symptoms. We focus these things so that you can get the most out of the movements and the most out of the exercises. Exercise does affect the brain itself, and then we gear it towards the functional goals. So any of the exercises that we're doing, there's always a reason for actually doing these exercises, and what are those reasons? I'm one of these people that will get you to, I will push you, I will challenge you to try and get the most out of you and get you to that 80% so that you know and you're empowered with that knowledge so you can bring it back into your daily life and be able to do it correctly. So what I mean by that is that if you struggle with something like opening a jar because it's really difficult, is it because you're not strengthened enough? You have pain somewhere, you have a shoulder issue or something that is impacting you, or is it because your fine motor movements are a little bit harder? I will focus your exercise and be a bit more intentional about looking at your fingers and your hand and your wrist, even your elbow function, so that you can then end up opening up that jar and have that power to be able to do that. Again, by doing all of these functional tasks, it will gear towards getting your brain fired up so that the dopamine is allowing you to move bigger and better to be able to open the jar at the end of the day. You may have heard all of these high intensity exercises. So the programs like the PD Warrior, the Power Moves, the LSVT Big, we all incorporate high intensity exercises to improve your mobility and counteract Parkinson's symptoms. Again, it's moving at that 80% of your maximum capacity so that you can get opening up the jars or doing your gardening or doing something else around the house. It's all amplitude-based movements. What does that mean? It means how big can you move? So when I said open your hands out, a lot of people are just here. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, my hands are open. We're saying amplitude-based. It means open your fingers out as big as you can. Exaggerate it so that you can get the most out of it. Again, we're retraining some of the brain here. Your brain doesn't have enough dopamine, so it's being a little bit more energy efficient and just trying to say, okay, open your hand out to what you think you might be able to do, but it's not going to the end ranges. We're teaching you to get to the end ranges so that you have this neuroplasticity happening in the brain to say, okay, I need to move bigger with a bit more power to be able to do the opening of the jar or writing, if that's what you want to do. And as a physiotherapist, we always think along those lines. So it's not just about getting you moving, it is about relearning and helping your brain function to the best of its ability. So for the home, what are we going to do when you are at home? It's great if there's a physio right in front of you. It's great when you're out for the support groups and those exercise classes. It's wonderful, but what about when you're at home? What about when you cannot get to those things? So it's about trying to implement an effective treatment at any stage in your journey with Parkinson's. When we try and teach you, we're trying to empower you with the skills and the knowledge so that you can bring it home and actually do all of the exercises at home and get the most out of being within the house. We do exercises standing, using a chair on the floor, kneeling, wheelchair bound, bed bounds, getting you rolling on the bed, moving the covers. I know that sometimes that can be a bit of a struggle. We can get you doing your exercises in your kitchen, your bathroom, the bedroom, or even the basement. Anywhere there is a little bit of space, you can exercise. Just like I showed you, you can just get your fingers moving as much as you can while you're sitting, and you can be anywhere where you can do that. If you're a passenger in the car, not the driver, but if you're a passenger in the car, you can also do some of the movements and the exercises to try and keep your joints and your muscles feeling a little bit less rigid and stiff, so that when you get to do that functional exercise of getting out of the car or in the car, that you can do that seamlessly and easily. We do try to make sure that we are focused on your safety and independence. And again, those functional goals are super important so that it's going to help with your motivation. If you have a functional goal of, I want to be able to walk up and down my stairs holding a basket of laundry, then that is a functional goal. And if we are aimed to try and get you there, you're more likely to actually exercise to get to that goal. We also, as a physiotherapist for the home, we work on your comorbidities. So the frozen shoulders are a big one because it impacts your ability to be able to wash your hair. For any of the ladies, getting your bras on or getting dressed, getting jackets on and off can really impact it, particularly with pain and lack of range of motion. So we will work on those comorbidities as well and all of the injuries that you have, which are important because if you are not using your shoulders because of the dopamine, it causes a little bit more of stiffness and rigidity within that region. So we need to try and stay on top of that and help you to recover from any frozen shoulder or rotator cuff issues so that you can start to use your shoulders correctly and still stay with the amplitude-based learning. We work with care partners or family members on how best to support this person with Parkinson's. So if a caregiver has to do a lot of help we try and make sure that that care partner is as fit and as healthy as possible, and we give strategies of how to help that person with Parkinson's, so the load is a little bit easier on your care partner or family. So maybe that is just about how to teach you getting in and out of a car, or how to put on your seatbelt. Again, that is a big component of getting you out of the house to functional activities, and it can be a big issue to get you out of the house sometimes. And if we can induce some exercises to be able to help you function correctly, then you're more likely to want to leave the house in the first place. So again, functional goals, I've got a couple of photos on in here to kind of just give you the idea of things that we can do as a functional goal, particularly around the house. Gardening is coming up. It is springtime, so that is at the top. You need to be able to kneel down. You need to be able to scoop. We need to be able to get those leaves off. And because of all of the winds recently, get the garbage up off the flower beds if you're in the front yard. So gardening is a very big thing, and you can use a lot of amplitude-based learning through gardening as well, because it's very big aerobic exercises at times, particularly if you've got big lawns and you need to do some cutting grass and things, it can get your aerobic capacity up and work that heart rate as well. Laundry, that's multifunctional, multitasking. You need to be able to hold the laundry. You need to be able to balance. You need to be able to shift around. You need to be able to get laundry in and out of machines. You have to stand up. You need to crouch down. You need to be able to do turning as well. So using a laundry basket and working on that weight shift for freezing of gait is one way that we can help with this functional goal. Again, moving boxes in garages or boxes in around the kitchen or anywhere else is something else as well. So if you put clothes into a box and you put it away into the wardrobe, we try and help you to manage how to maneuver around and to do that safely. Groceries are a big thing, lifting it in and out of the car, up and down stairs, in and out of the kitchen, reaching and turning and stepping forwards, backwards, sideways. Lots of different things as you're doing groceries. Babysitting, so any grandchildren that may be around, you will be on the floor in playgrounds around lots of other kids, possibly. Doing a lot of childcare is super important that we can keep you there. And we do exercises to help you with this as well. Again, this is like motivational for you. This is something that you want to be able to do. Walking your pets as well is another way to actually keep you motivated to do some of the exercises in the first place. So think about your functional goal. Think about what you want to be able to do. Make it achievable so that when you're doing the exercises, you know you're going to achieve it within a couple of weeks. But also have a dream goal. Is there something that you want to be able to do? I want to be able to go on a cruise. I want to be able to do a bus tour, and I need to be able to get up and down the stairs safely. Again, they're dream goals, but it's something that's going to keep you motivated to be able to do the exercises. Particularly when you're at home, you don't have that motivation to be able to leave the house, and you don't have an appointment to make, you're less likely to want to actually exercise in the first place. So we try and say, okay, what is your goal? And where do you want to achieve it? How are we going to do that at home, or are you going to go out to the exercise classes? Incremental goals, setting small goals first and then building on that is going to help you with that motivation. And then the sense of accomplishment. When you've achieved it, it's like, great, all of that hard work has paid off, and you're more likely to want to do more. I always say, try and incorporate variety and fun. Get the fun into it. We had a Halloween bash with lots of costumes while we were exercising here. Again, it's super motivational and helps you to keep coming. Again, all of that, one, gets your dopamine going, serotonin levels, helps with mood-related issues as well. And the social activities helps with that support environment for regular exercise. And maybe there is somebody that you would say is like, okay, how about we get you coming to my house and we'll exercise together. That might give you the motivation and might have a goal with you to be able to do more often on a regular basis. Okay, so conclusion with the importance of exercise. It helps with the body and brain connections. So your brain is the powerhouse, it's your computer, but your body is the one that is the coding. So you need to be able to code the computer to be able to do a program. With your body, you need to be able to move it better so that your brain, your code from your body and your brain are correct. If there's a breakdown with that program from the brain, then we need to try and fix that code somehow through medication and through exercise so that your body is moving correctly. We try to slow the progression of your Parkinson's disease. Again, that high intensity, amplitude-based movements helps to slow the progression, helps with your neuroplasticity and the neuroprotection. It helps to maintain your independence. It provides social interactions if you are outside of the home, or you can do virtual. I keep forgetting about your virtual component. We're currently virtual and I got you exercising for 15 minutes. It helps with your mood and it helps with the gut health. So with a gut that is moving better with less constipation, your medication is going to be absorbed a little bit better and you're going to want to be you're going to be able to move a little bit better. So the absorption of your medication is less harsh and you might feel, oh yeah, my symptoms are leveling off a little bit better. With the physiotherapy-led exercise treatments, again, they're targeted movements for you specifically, not just for the general. And we teach you what to do so that you can manage things at home yourself. It teaches you life management skills. Again, all of those exercises is what for you to be able to manage for home tasks, whatever that may be. Again, gardening, or maybe it is just putting groceries away in the kitchen. It helps to slow the progression with neuroprotection, reduces falls risks. Again, we try to give you the confidence to be able to move around in the community so that you can leave your house or even moving around your house without falling. It improves posture and then aids injury recovery as well. So all of those comorbidities with the niggling injuries that you've had throughout a life of just, oh yeah, I've had rotator cuff issues, I've had knee surgeries, I have arthritis, I've stubbed my toe, I've fractured this or that. It all impacts how your body moves. And if your body is struggling, it is going to impact how the brain is functioning as well at the same time. So as a physio, we do try and help you to tease out which is the issue. Is it the brain or is it the body? And we try and match up both. So I've put a little video together, just it's just a couple of minutes, okay? Again, just why you're going to be exercising for home. And we'll see Sarah. Sarah does change the image. Okay. So I know Sarah changed throughout.